Battlefield 6 is kind of a win currently. People are relatively happy, but how long will this happiness last? When I did my first video saying that I don't think Battlefield 6 can be a success, I had a lot of pushback. 40% did not like that video and said, no, 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 you're wrong, you're stupid. A lot of pushback, effectively. But then I did the second video that Battlefield cannot succeed, and here are the reasons why. My opinion! Still not exactly changed, even though I wish I'm actually wrong and Battlefield is a massive success. Because, I mean, a good game is always good. And Battlefield 6 currently is kind of fun. But you know what's the crazy part? That video did not get a lot of pushback. No, no, no. People did not push back. In fact, that it had a 10% dislike ratio, which is not a lot for something like Battlefield Bad. And I think the fatigue is kind of slowly starting in. Currently, if on the first 2 days people were like, oh my god, Battlefield, the best thing ever. Now it's just clips of, hey, Battlefield 6 is literally filled to the brim with cheaters. This house, while it's kind of hilarious, has already collapsed 17 times in 5 minutes. And a lot of other things. People are kind of starting to notice this.
Battlefield 6, dude, this game is a blast. I've been playing every day since the beta dropped last week, and I honestly haven't had this much fun in a multiplayer shooter in years, I think. Like,
Cool.
Usually I grow pretty quickly tired of getting my butt kicked in these games. However, there's something about the nonstop craziness.
Oh, the Battlefield dads. The movement is too big, okay? It's like Battlefield is unironically the same deal as World of Warcraft. The retail, where people are not supposed to play while they're lethargic and can't move their arms properly, and Classic, where there's literally typically one button to press, maybe two if you're going pretty hardcore.
And scale of Battlefield specifically that makes it so I really don't mind. I can wrap up a match with like a 1-for-1 KD ratio and still feel like I had a heck of a lot of fun. Certainly helps.
By the way, that's good. If a game ever makes it so that you losing feels fun, that is amazing. That is amazing. I have only experienced one game like that in my life, and that's Scrolls. And even then, every time it didn't feel like it.
Just some of the crazy stuff that can happen in these games, battlefield moments as they like to call them. Battlefield moments are back. At first I just assumed I was dead. So he's repairing a tank explodes, jettisoned up into the air, then helicopters onto or parachutes onto the roof. Okay, and now he's just up there where nobody else can get up there. That is actually unbelievable.
Nice.
You know, now normally if I saw this clip I wouldn't think anything of it because it's a Battlefield game. Like obviously he jumped from the helicopter, but there's no helicopter on this map. At least there's not on the modes that I've been playing. Okay. All right. I've seen a few of these clips. I don't exactly know what's going on. Like, there's no way that it takes this many.
I mean, there's quite a bit of pent up anger there.
Number of knifing animations to kill somebody. Oh, I know what's about to happen. I just read yesterday.
This is Shroud, I think. This was like a streamer.
That you could do this. I didn't even really. Yep, that's right. Yep. He's running around with the defibrillator and just one-shotting enemies. You actually one-shot them? I guess you do have to charge it first, right?
Yep, you one-shot them.
Still, that's ridiculous. It's better.
I think this was Shroud. This was someone. This is insane.
Than the knife damage on the last clip. So yeah, I mean, the game, it's a lot of fun. It's also funny at times, and I've been having a blast. Seems a lot of other people are enjoying it as well as of this recording. It's reached a...
I think the reality of Battlefield is gonna be... By the way, this is really good. And keep in mind, this is currently free to play. What's gonna happen? Anyone can access this. So, I can already see the fact that one of the things that I said about this, Battlefield literally needs, by their own estimate, 100 million copies sold to break even. Which is probably a lie, by the way. So, yeah, this ain't it, Chief. This, even if we're being super ridiculously generous, is at best, if we look at these numbers, while it's free, that you have only gotten, and I say only, but it's still actually an amazing number, 20 to 50 million people. Yes, and this is while it's free. And this is while it's hot. So when Battlefield 6 releases, it's dead on arrival. There is no way they're gonna recuperate their losses for this. And I called this because the number is just, they need more than Fortnite, they need more than the Battlefield, they need more than they have ever sold combined. It's not something that's gonna happen. And I said that this is probably the last Battlefield that we're gonna see in, like, I don't know, 10 years or something. It's not happening. This thing is money burner. This thing is fiscally irresponsible.
Whopping 520,000 peak concurrent players.
And the big part is, when they're not gonna sell 100 million copies, they're gonna have to, well, they're gonna have to do some Battlefield, Star Wars Battlefield tactics, you know, if you know what I'm saying. They're gonna have to resort to that, okay? Trust me, Nicki Minaj is not only gonna be twerking in Call of Duty, she's also gonna be doing it here. And pretty aggressively, I can tell you.
Players over on Steam, and here's the kicker. I didn't even know that the beta test was available on Steam. Literally. So I started playing last Thursday when they were running that Twitch Drops campaign. Like the way you could get in is you had to watch a stream for 30 minutes and then you would be sent a code. And those codes were codes not for Steam, but for the EA launcher. So I just assumed that everyone was playing on the EA launcher. Like up until earlier this morning,
nope.
I thought everyone was on the EA launcher. And I do believe a lot of people thought as much as well. I'll at least say all of my friends who also played via Twitch Drops on Thursday or Friday when they got access.
How do people not know this? I know this. I typically don't know anything because I don't follow these things, but even I knew that this is... But if you do not know, you can just download this and play it on PC and have some fun easy. Easy, currently. Just go on Steam, download the free beta, have some fun, and then when it comes out, don't buy it.
Of them were also using the EA launcher, and I am someone who typically prefers to play my games on Steam if given the choice, because I'd rather not download.
Yeah, literally everyone prefers to play their games on Steam. That's just life.
Separate launchers for every publisher's games, right? So the fact that they hit 520,000 concurrent players on Steam, on top of however many thousands they must have certainly had on the EA launcher, on top.
Probably not that much. Again, no.
Top of the console player base, seems this beta has been massively popular. It is at the very least the most popular beta in Battlefield's history. Those concurrent numbers also place it as the 18th all-time most popular game on Steam when it comes to player concurrence. Yeah,
that's not enough. That is not nearly enough.
Too shabby. So Windows Central, they just posted an article pointing out the fact that Battlefield 6 has surpassed Call of Duty's all-time Steam player count because, of course, like, let's just get those fan bases going at it already. Get a head start to the online arguments which will no doubt be happening this October about which is better, Call of Duty or Battlefield. Great.
Both are slop, by the way. That's the real opinion.
We got a couple months of this garbage now. But, maybe not much of a shocker. Not everyone has been having a good time. I've actually been seeing a fair few complaints about the game over the course of this beta weekend, and I want to dive into and touch on some of those as well. So for starters, map size. This is one of the more common complaints that I've seen. Basically that the maps aren't that big, and you know what? I actually pretty much agree on this one. Like all of the maps, even the bigger...
Yeah. I mean, the maps can't be big with the amount of destruction that can happen here.
Ones that are meant for the all-out warfare game modes with vehicles and everything, they feel kind of small. It seems I can't go 10 seconds without being shot at in the game, and from what I recall in any prior Battlefield games that I've played, there felt like there was more space and breathing room in between engagements with enemies, which just really hasn't been the case here. Now, I've been playing a lot...
Well, that is by design. They want you to keep pumping and being like, oh, we fucking go. They want that. That's the way that they've been. That's the way that they get the Fortnite crowd in.
Of the breakthrough game mode where you've got an attacking team and defending team, and this mode literally only takes place on the larger maps. So I've spent most of my time with the game over this beta just playing on what are the larger available maps, but even these still kind of feel tiny, or at least kind of restricted. Also, I read a comment that really rung true for me where somebody said that the maps are flat out boring, but specifically said that everyone plays on the same plane and there is no verticality, which Battlefield maps are known for. The second I read that, I was like, it's like a light bulb went off in my head. I was like, oh yeah, no, dude, he's totally right. Holy crap. It did make me realize that on every map.
Yeah, I mean, the reality of Battlefield 6 is it's still fun. A lot of people are having fun. But the honeymoon period is not just going away. It is burning away. It is on a time limit. And that time limit is, my nose is itchy. That time limit is burning fast.
It seems like there are like 2 floors max to the buildings and structures you can go in. In fact, that earlier clip kind of points to a funny discrepancy from what I would expect from a Battlefield game where you got a player who accidentally ended up on the roof of these buildings. And in my mind, Battlefield's always been a game where you should just be able to get up on the roof of buildings, right? If no, for no other reason than because you drop out of a helicopter or a plane and then parachute on top of it. But in this game, even on many of the larger maps we have, that's not exactly possible. But even if it is, the buildings themselves are just relatively small. Like over these past few days in all of the engagements that I've had, the highest I have ever been elevated over another player has been like 1 floor above them inside of a building, and that's basically it. There's just really little verticality at the moment on top of what seems to be a relatively small amount of total play space to explore. Now, I am hopeful that this is just a factor of the current beta's map pool, and that come release there are larger maps available, especially for these big game.
They're gonna add something bigger, probably, but it's not gonna be a lot bigger, okay? This is not a game that can support that type of bigness.
Modes like Breakthrough or Conquest, and that's just the case that right now we only have a fraction of the maps and modes that are planned for launch. That is true, like there's gonna be more there, so I'm hoping that more includes more bigger things. In fact, I did see a thread that was comparing this to prior Battlefield games, stating that the Battlefield 6 open beta is an outlier for the fact that it is putting so much focus on these smaller infantry focused maps. And then they laid out Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4, Hardline, BF1, BF5, and 2042, and the different combinations of maps that they had, with many larger scale maps that are bigger compared to the ones that we're playing here in the Battlefield 6 beta. Some people are also saying that this is a big reason why the game is being compared a lot to Call of Duty, mainly because we only have what are relatively smaller maps with a lot of quick engagements. You know, this may very well, in fact, be intentionally done to help draw some of that crowd. EA might be.
Yes, I was gonna say that. Yes. Battlefield's size and all of that, and the time between engagements, obviously that hasn't worked. So why not become a better Call of Duty? That's a completely reasonable strategy to make, because you're not making a unique game. You're making something that makes money. And the easiest way to make money nowadays is just to overtake something that already exists by providing a better product.
Doing this on purpose to appeal to the Call of Duty fan base.
That's why McDonald's and, places like that lost in real life. Other places just appeared, and they offered higher quality. Now, granted, their quality went down after they got the news that they're good, but still, that also boosted McDonald's quality because, again, quality wins over quantity currently.
That is entirely possible. There's like a high likelihood that that's the case, but nevertheless, I just want more bigger maps. So that is actually one complaint that I'm fully on board with. Like, I'd like to see bigger maps in the game come release. Another big complaint that I'm seeing a lot of has been about the time to kill. Seems to be a lot of people saying that the time to kill in this game is too fast, but it turns out that may not be even.
People complain about that constantly. I don't know. It's the time to kill is in every game. It's like I honestly listen. The last time the time to kill was different, and I'm talking really different, was fucking Concord. And how long did that last?
true at all. In fact, it looks like the exact opposite might be the case, and that the time to kill appears to be slower than Battlefield 4, at least according to some rough comparison videos that I've seen floating around. Although I do want to make it clear, this is a very poor method of testing. These just comparing random gameplay clips side to side. We just don't know so much.
Yeah,
There's so many variables. We don't know these starting.
Well, to be fair, that roughly does sound like the scientific mythology that, Jesus Christ, can't even say that, I'm a retard. Mythology that COD players would use. Sad.
Health of the enemies prior to them being shot in the clip. Like, were they already injured? Or we don't know if they had taken any damage during the clip from any other sources. Like, did they get fired from somebody else or take blast damage from a grenade? What were the ranges and the weapon attachments that were being used in each of these clips that are put side by side? Like, again, there's just way too many variables. I would love to see some more controlled.
Not that a Call of Duty or Battlefield dad would actually care about these minute things.
Testing of the weapons and the different distances against static, non-moving targets so that you know every shot is hitting. That's what I would like to see, where you could figure out where exactly does the time to kill fall in line with other Battlefield games. I've also seen people saying that time to kill isn't really so much the issue as is the perceived time to death. It feels like you're getting instantly killed sometimes, and apparently part of the reason here might be due to the fact of how damage gets bundled and then registered in burst. So while on your end it might seem like you died after just 1 to 2 bullets, you check out the kill feed and it shows you actually got hit 5 or 6 times, and it's just that the damage was applied in burst. So that is a whole nother factor to account for here. Also, I want to say, personally, I think part of the issue of what people are experiencing here also comes down to the map sizes and layouts. There's just, with the size of these maps, there's not a lot of breathing room in the current beta rotation. Like, even on the larger ones, it does seem like you can't go 5 or 10 seconds without being shot much of the time. Also, I swear that I am performing better than I should be. I wanted to point this out here as well. Like, I don't know how heavy this game's aim assist is, but it feels pretty strong. And
my favorite conversation is the console plebeians, the console peasantry, the console mud skippers saying, "Oh, aim assist doesn't matter. Oh, aim assist doesn't change." I would actually turn. Then why aren't you turning off aim assist? I need the tom 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 sound, you know. Then why aren't you turning off aim assist? If it doesn't do anything, if it actually hurts you, why not turn it off? Why do you complain every single time aim assist is disabled that you need aim assist? Why are you complaining when aim assist is too weak and you can't kill anyone? Oh my god.
If that is the case, and everyone has it, while being on these maps that result in a very little amount of time between player engagements, that could also be part of the explanation. Explaining the feeling as to why people are like, dude, I'm just constantly dying all the time super quickly. A lot of factors at play here, a lot of things to consider. Also, I've been seeing a lot of complaints about the UI, and I will admit, like, some of this stuff, it's pretty rough. This home screen, like, for example, when I'm on the play screen, where is the button to instantly get into the next match? Like, why isn't it just right there front and center? Why do I have to toggle down a layer from the bulletin, which is basically, here's our advertising for the game that you're already playing, for things that you can probably in the future buy more things within the game on this banner. Why do I have to go down to the feature tabs and or training ground? But, you know, we'd be going down to the feature tabs. I should just be able to click a button right here and play the game. I shouldn't have to scroll to anything. And I think that kind of also points to a larger issue that I've had with this game. And the menus in particular is a lot of, like, there's too many layers to the menus. That's a big thing that a lot of games seem to struggle with. There needs to be a simplicity and a limiting to the number of click-throughs that you have to do before you get to the thing that you're trying to get to. That should be streamlined as much as possible. It's something that I've been had a bit of annoyance, not a massive annoyance, but a bit of annoyance here. People have also been complaining about, like, the class icons. These don't bother me so much. I think this is just an exposure issue. Like, the more you play, the more comfortable you're going to get with what each of the class icons mean. I do get that they're a little too, like, artsy fartsy, instead of just, like, the assault is, like, it should be a rifle or a bullet, and the healing thing should just be the medical cross. Like, why isn't it just the medical cross? Why is the engineering class like a lug nut instead of a wrench? You know, and the sniper class icon, I mean, I like looking at it, it's abstract and I get it. Like my brain can put the pieces together. Like, yes, oh, that's supposed to be a scope. But also it like what is, come on, dude. Why is it not just the regular sniper scope? It seems like they just went really fancy and abstract with the designs here of the class icons. I mean, I don't hate these, and I get what they're going for with each of them. Like, I get the design idea behind it and what it's supposed to represent and how that is relevant to said classes. But yeah, they definitely put their own spin on it, right? But ultimately, I do think it's just an exposure thing. After playing for a few days, like, I get what each of these means now, but it's not immediately intuitive. I guess I would say that much. It at least takes some.
Okay, Grandpa, please.
You got to take a minute. It's like you got to look at it for a minute and be like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, that's okay. I get it. Like, even the medic one, I look at it and I'm like, is that a bridge? What is that? I was like, oh, it is a cross, but it also has a circle in it, and then there's a space chunk diagonally taken out of the middle. I'm like, okay, yeah, I get it. No, I get it, yeah. Oh, I saw this post and thought it was absolutely hilarious because that's not what it really looks like when you're playing on this map, but it's what it feels like. You're just seeing the glint of sniper lenses staring you down every time you pop your head up above a rock or something on this map, and it's kind of a nightmare as a result. Yeah, there's a lot of snipers, and you know, I was told, or I read somewhere, that one of the main reasons we're seeing for the prevalence of snipers right now is that there's little to no suppression. So suppressing fire that you would send out that would mess with enemies, it would mess up their aim or mess up their vision to make it harder for them to aim and hit targets. Evidently, that's not really much of a thing anymore. I haven't played as the sniper class, as a recon, or I haven't used a sniper on any of the other classes because you can kind of mix and match weapons however you like here, except for that one particular mode. But I've mostly been playing like AR or LMG, actually. I picked the support, and the support started as LMG. I like the class playstyle. I like rezzing people, I like running around with the defibrillators. Yeah, apparently when people are sniping, they're no longer getting suppressed, which historically has been the case. I've been told for the LMG classes, they've been good for doing the suppressing fire and making it harder for the enemies that you're shooting at to return fire, but evidently that's not really a thing. Kind of surprised. I'm sure there's some very good reason as to why they did it. We'll see if that gets tuned or not right now, because right now, yeah.
There's probably not a good reason why that was done, by the way. That's just the reality of this. Okay, currently now it's... Okay, what else do we have more?
It's like the idea that it should mostly be guns and not explosive AoE blast radius things that are killing group multiple players. Just personally, like, I don't...
Oh, yeah, that I agree with. Okay, listen. When your maps are tight, explosions are kind of a little bit OP, you know?
Don't really mind this so much. Damage that's done to reason, it's just not there by
what?
Options. You can check to have the compass enabled because for whatever reason. Yes.
Okay, now it's just minor UI issues and whatever. Okay, anyway, that was Force Gaming 10 out of... Do you not have an outro, Force? What the hell? Really? Yep. Anyway, that was Force Gaming 10 out of 10. Bye!